his wife as much as she supports him. My husband thinks that he's the most important person in the world and always says things that are completely unreasonable. Even before we got married, I thought he could sometimes be a bit overbearing. But since we got married, his personality got even worse. Why didn't I notice earlier? I wonder that every day. To tell you a bit more about myself, I work part-time 3 days a week and do all our housework. My mother-in-law lives with us, so of course I take care of her too. But if I take even the quickest of breaks, my husband heads in and complains.
How nice. You work an easy part-time job. And rest all the time. I only get to rest 2 days a week. You just do anything you want, huh? I hope that when I die, I'm reborn as a woman.
He always spoke like that. An easy part-time job? Working part-time has its difficulties. There's a lot to do every shift, and I have to deal directly with customers. And when I come home, all the housework is waiting for me. I'm just taking a bit of a breather between chores. So why do you have to go that far? I reply back.
What? You just work part-time, but you're trying to act so special?
I work 5 days a week. I have to deal with the harassment from my bosses and with cleaning up the messes my juniors cause.
At the worst of times, I even have to work on the weekends. Don't put me in the same group as someone living an easy life like you.
Livid, I replied. Living an easy life like me? He retorted.
Well, it's true. No matter how you look at it, being a businessman is tougher than being a housewife. You spend your money how you want, get to stay home all day, hang out with my mom. I wish I could swap my life for yours. He began to laugh. Ha 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 ha.
I don't get to spend my money however I want. I use most of my money for the house and the rest I put into savings, I said.
I don't care. Don't act special. If I wasn't here, you wouldn't be able to survive. Shouldn't you be more grateful to me?
We had conversations like this almost every day. I was tired of it. Of course, it was true that we lived mostly thanks to the money my husband earned, and I was grateful for that. But I couldn't take the way he spoke to me. I'm the most important. I am always right. How could I not get mad when he acts like that? Nowadays, I get mad just looking at his face. Married couples are supposed to support each other. Even when we're out, he talks about me as if I'm a bad wife.
My wife can't do anything. Ha 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 ha.
I've heard him say to his bosses on the phone before. I don't know if he was saying that to compliment his boss's wives, but at least he shouldn't let me hear that. I wish at least he wouldn't follow me around and insult me. When I'm busy with my part-time job and taking care of his mother, I can't take care of the house perfectly. So of course I get mad. When he treats me like I'm useless. He just wanted to make fun of me. I never talked poorly of my husband. But that wasn't for his sake. That was because I didn't want people to pity me. My mother-in-law wasn't at a level that she needed much taking care of. But she recently had started feeling a bit uncertain on her own and needs a bit more help than before. I was genuinely concerned about my mother-in-law, and I was afraid to leave her at home for too long. But we didn't have enough money for me to quit my part-time job. Money has also been something I've been worrying about recently. My husband acted like he was so important, but he didn't even make that much money. But he felt very strongly that he was the one taking care of our family. If I ever said that aloud, I'd probably get in big trouble. I had gotten used to it, but I didn't know when I would explode. Divorce was a word that often floated around my mind, but getting a divorce at our age wasn't easy. I'd be worried about what others thought. I didn't want to trouble my parents either. I did find myself a bit pathetic. I told myself that I'd hold out until I really hit my limit. That's how I reached where I am now. I had nowhere else to go. My parents were very strict, so they probably wouldn't accept my divorce. My dad also acted like Hudson around the house. so I knew it would be hard to get a divorce. Well, these were probably all excuses. I had a feeling that talking to my husband about it would get me nowhere. He always forces his opinions on me and never listened to me. If I ever said anything, he'd just reply,
"If you have a complaint, just leave." Ha 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 ha.
And like that, our conversation would come to an end. So I knew talking to him was useless. I want to tell you guys about something that happened. I was asleep until just now, but my husband woke me up when he got home from drinking with coworkers. He was obviously drunk and was speaking in a loud voice, so he scared me awake. What happened?
What do you mean? Lillian, you're hiding something from me, aren't you?
Hiding something? I still wasn't fully awake, and I didn't know what Hudson was talking about. He got angry at me.
Don't play dumb. You're making my mom do all the chores, huh? I know everything. Did you think I wouldn't notice?
I don't know how he came to this conclusion, and I got even more confused. Huh? I do all the chores, though.
I am telling you, stop lying. Why are you telling such obvious lies? Did you think that you could hide this from me because I'm at work all day? How could you make my mom do housework in her condition? You're a failure of a wife.
He began screaming at me. I finally woke up fully and spoke back to him. I told you, I'm not hiding anything. You're misunderstanding something. I do all the chores. How dare you say I'm a failure of a wife? He replied,
I know you're slacking off. I thought it was weird. You fold clothes the same way as Mom does, and your cooking tastes the same way as Mom's. You tried hiding everything.
He was yelling things that made no sense. Do you really think I would force your mom to do that? Your mom taught me everything. That's why I fold the laundry the same way, and my cooking has started tasting like hers. She helps sometimes, but I do 90% of it myself, I replied.
I wonder. I can't believe what you're saying at all. You're never grateful for me. So you're using my mom to get back at me, right? You witch.
No matter what I said, he wouldn't change his mind. Feeling annoyed, I decided to end the conversation. Think what you want. You're making a mistake. Check with your mother when she wakes up tomorrow. I'm working morning shift, so I'm going to bed, I said and left the room. I was so glad we had separate bedrooms so I could escape into my own room. But I was so angry that I couldn't fall asleep. I'm glad I could at least share this all here. Of course, I'm still mad. I feel like I'm going to hit my limit soon. If my feelings don't change in the next few days, I probably will really divorce him. I'm so angry, I'm starting to feel like I don't care about what anyone thinks anymore. Even my parents will understand me at this point. I'll rethink it when I wake up tomorrow. I couldn't get over the way Hudson yelled at me the next day either, but I decided to ignore him and keep my mood up as much as possible. When Hudson noticed that,
Did you forget what I said? I was drunk, but I remember everything. I know that you're slacking off around the house,
he said to me.
You're not allowed to use the dry cleaners anymore. You better wash and iron everything yourself. And no more ready-made sides at dinner. You should be able to find time to make it all yourself. You should vacuum every day. Don't you dare even leave a speck of dust. You can do that much, right? You clumsy slacker of a wife.
He didn't give me a chance to reply, and I felt that I had fully reached my limit. My patience had finally gone completely. A few mornings later, after my husband left for work, I filled out divorce papers and left the house. Of course, I explained everything to my mother-in-law. She had seen the way Hudson treated me, and she said she couldn't stop me. I was a bit worried, but she was Hudson's mother, so he should take care of her. That night, as I expected, Hudson called me, incredibly angry, when he got home. I had things I wanted to say to him as well, so I picked up the phone.
I heard from my mom. But Did you really leave? Are you serious about getting a divorce?
He asked. If I wasn't serious, I wouldn't have done that, I replied.
Don't you think you're jumping the gun? I just yelled a bit.
He didn't think much of what he had done. A bit? That wasn't the first time you yelled at me like that. I've been holding myself back all this time. I reached my limit, so I left. I'm back at my parents' home now, and I won't change my mind, I said in a flurry.
No way. You're over-exaggerating.
His voice sounded a bit woozy. You obviously can't understand how I feel, so there's no point in wasting our time talking. I'm tired from moving. I'm going to sleep, I said, and ended our conversation one-sidedly, just like how Hudson always did. We didn't resolve anything, but I felt like I had moved a step forward. I'm sure it'll take more time for it to really settle in, but Hudson reacted faster than I expected. He actually came to my parents' house to apologize to me. That stubborn man did. I was surprised. He came late at night after he finished work. The two of us spoke alone.
My mom says she doesn't want to lose you, so she scolded me to come to apologize. Getting scolded by my parents at my age, it's so pathetic,
Hudson said with a soft nod. Really? I looked at him coldly.
I've been thinking this my whole way here, but the way I treated you so far has been horrible. I thought I was better than you, and always looked down on you. I thought I was the one keeping our home together, but I was wrong,
he said. You think you were wrong? What do you think now? I asked.
I think I wasn't grateful enough. I wasn't the only one keeping our home together. It was obvious, but I didn't notice until now. Because of that, you want to divorce me. And all I feel now is regret, he answered.
Even if you regret, it's too late. I told you on the phone, but I've reached my limit. I seriously want a divorce. I don't want to waste my time with you anymore, I said.
Please, Lillian, come home with me. Mom is also waiting.
He tried to use my mother-in-law against me. If I go back with you, things will just go back to how they were before. And anyway, she's your mother. You should take care of her yourself. Don't try to pin it on me. Obviously, I was right on the money. He scowled. That's what you were thinking, right? People don't change that easily. Since I married you, you've become such a cold person. I can't believe you anymore. I told him everything I was thinking.
I feel really bad. I'm sorry I couldn't apologize until now. I always assumed I'm right and acted like I was more important than you. It's only natural that you'd leave me. But I want one last chance.
Tears began to well up in his eyes. It was my first time seeing him like that, so I felt shaken. But that didn't sway my heart. I couldn't help but think that he was just trying to cover up everything he had done. I couldn't believe him again. My heart had reached its limit, so I responded harshly. I told you there's no way. Just go home. Hudson handed me the divorce papers.
If you're serious, I'll fill them out. But if you think there's even the slightest chance we could be together again, please come back to me,
Hudson said, and got on his hands and knees. Seeing him like this, I felt nothing. He definitely thought this would make me hesitate. I was sure of it, so I replied curtly, Let's divorce. There's no way I'm going back to you. He begged through tears.
Is there really no way you won't regret this at all? I can't live without you. I'm nothing without you.
He's really talking like that, huh? Seeing him like that just made me feel more distant from him than before. Sorry, but no matter how much you apologize, what you've done until now won't go away, and I won't forgive you. We'll be happier apart from each other, so let's divorce. Hearing what I said, he finally seemed to realize that saying anything more was pointless. He went silent and signed the divorce forms. I saw no point in being with him anymore, so I turned down his request to let him stay over, and I sent him home. The last train had already gone, so I'm sure he stayed at a hotel, but I didn't care. On the contrary, I hope he felt terrible. When he got home the next day, he messaged me. Made it home, but I didn't reply. I filed our divorce forms the next day. By the way, Hudson's mother called me. I'm sorry for what my son did to you. I hope that you're happy from now on, was more or less what she said to me. I liked my mother-in-law, so hearing her say that made me sad. But I couldn't sacrifice my life for her. My feelings were conflicted. She told me that once she needs more serious care, she'll move into a senior care home. It seems that she had come up with that plan herself, but Hudson probably didn't have any other options. It's good that my mother-in-law seemed up to it, but of course I don't know if that's how she felt deep down. I don't want to see Hudson ever again, but maybe I'll visit my mother-in-law in the future. I'm sure she'll be happy to see me. Thank you for listening to my story until the very end. I feel like my stress is all gone, and like I can start my second life now.